Hi, Alan Shimel, DevOps.com here at IBM InterConnect. I'm actually here with a friend of mine from the South Florida information security community, Lawrence Embil, who works for Miami-Dade Municipal Government. Hi,
Yep.
Lawrence.
Hi.
Lawrence, I know what brought me out to InterConnect. What brought you?
So Miami-Dade County is on a mission to transform its IT methodologies. We're very much a waterfall shop. We're trying to move into a bimodal and more agile methodology.
Absolutely. And Lawrence, as I mentioned earlier, you're a security guy, much like myself. What where how does the security role kind of fit into this transformation?
Well, in security, if you're not staying up to date, you're obviously far behind the curve. Moving to a more agile methodology, something like what you might find on DevOps.com, some of the DevOps sec articles.
Absolutely.
They'll help us move along.
So, Lawrence, part of that is obviously what we call shifting left,
Hmm.
right? Moving earlier into the development process with security so that we don't have the surprises, out the other end. Anything in particular that you're doing along that
Yeah,
path?
we're those surprises at the end wind up making us throw punches in every direction just to
Yes.
get everything rolled into place to meet our constituents and our leaders' timeframes. So what we're doing is we're trying to move further left, get into the development life cycle earlier at the conceptual stage, so that
Sure.
we can bring in our recommendations and bring in our architecture before, uh, hopefully before the first line of code gets written.
Absolutely. Now, Lawrence, we know that you could want to do that, but you sort of need to be invited to the party, right?
Yes.
How this new kind of transformation you're embarking on trying to move security left. How has it been received by the rest of the non-security part of the organization?
Takes a little bit of evaluation and a lot of diplomacy.
Yes.
So I find it's been very well received,
Mhm.
especially when our counterparts see that we're there to cooperate and to help them move things along.
Right. So it's not I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely. Mark, any specific tools or anything that you're finding helpful with this?
uh, I don't want to get too much into the tools we use, but
Right. As
some of
any
the
good
offer,
security pro
yeah,
would
some of
say.
the offerings that IBM has really have that we've seen here this week will help us move those along further.
Great. And Mark,
Or Lawrence,
Lawrence,
sorry,
Mark,
sorry.
where would I get that from? But Lawrence, 3 days into the show, what have been your biggest takeaways?
Biggest takeaways is the investment that IBM's made in security. They have really looked at their security program like a startup. So
Mhm.
in the past 4 years, they've really built it up.
Sure.
I believe they hired about 1 to 2,000 people in the past year or so. So
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
that's encouraging as
Yeah,
well.
yep.
Um, what about any of the DevOps tracks? Have you popped in?
I've popped into a couple of the DevOps tracks. I'd have to check my
Go
calendar.
back
It's
to your
been a little bit
notes.
of a blur, but
Well, that's what happens with these. There's been so much here
yeah, yeah,
that it does start. You got to need to go home and go through it all
yeah.
to get it
I've been
out.
keeping great notes though.
Absolutely. Um, Lawrence, as I said, the security is important to me in my background. We are doing the Rugged DevOps Security event at RSA as well next week. I had spoken to you about.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, you're here at InterConnect. It's hard to go from one to the next. You have a real job
yeah.
to do. But I promise you that I will bring back to Florida every kind of the lessons learned there, and we want to check in. I'd like to hear more about what Miami Dade is doing around your journey in the months to come.
We would absolutely love to have you.
Yep, we will. We'll do that.
And RSA is where we met about 2 years ago. So
Yes, so it comes around.
yeah,
Um, okay, we're going to take a wrap on that and move on. This is Alan Shimel for DevOps.com.